Hey everybody, welcome back to Three Swords Productions. If you are new here, I am Steven, and today I'm going to be going over Ace Control and kind of playing a couple games with it here. Now, certainly this is not my list. This is kind of stock Ace Control, as we just are playing more set 3 leaders and just trying out new things. Certainly we'll be deck building a lot with kind of tier 3 leaders, but we also want to play through and learn the tier 1 decks. And Ace seems pretty good right off the bat. I mean, I've only jammed a couple of games with him so far, but he just has like this obvious power, especially after playing Blurple Croc and Arlong. This leader is actually insane. So. A card that I was a little bit skeptical on at first, but it seems pretty stock, is Striker. It's a stage card that costs 1 Dawn opponent onto the table, and then for 2 Dawn every turn you can look the top 5 cards and add an event to your hand. I think that it's hard to fit that in like earlier on the curve, but as you go into the late game where you start your turn with 9, 10 Dawn, it's pretty solid. You can really just start most turns by adding a card to your hand and then figuring out where to go next. It seems really powerful, especially when you're in situations where you need to dig for radical beams, or if you would like to, you can dig for jet pistol. But if jet pistol is what you want, but you're trying to close the game out, you can upgrade yourself to the Flame Emperor, which is insanely powerful. This card says during your main, if your leader is Ace, of course it is, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power or less, then your leader gains double attack, and if that wasn't enough, you also get 3,000 power during this turn. That is such a cracked ability, all there for 7 Dawn, which is a lot of your turn, but again, you're going to deal 2 damage, and remember, Ace's ability by itself lets you trash an event or a stage card from your hand. Now, it's important that it also does a stage card, so you can discard those extra strikers if you want. But it's going to let you discard those cards and get an extra 1,000, which one time doing that plus your striker, plus your Flame Emperor ability, that's going to take you up to 9k. So your opponent's going to need to pitch quite a few cards to get out of that, or they're going to take 2 damage. And that's a lot of pressure that you can just find whenever you want, thanks to the Striker. So it's pretty good. You're also playing 2 Jozu in this build. Now, this build is not playing any buggies to go ahead and add those red events to your hand, which I think requires some testing to really determine like where you want to land. Personally, I like the buggies because there are just situations where your opponent just can't kill your buggy. I certainly learned that after playing Arlong. But the Jozu here is pretty nice as well. You are going to get to search for this card off of the Ezo, as well as discard it to protect your Marco. Of course, you're also playing the 4-cost Marco in this deck, which is a solid blocker, and it just makes it really, really hard to remove this card from the table. You're also playing the new Marco in this deck, and this is going to be a 6k that's almost impossible to get off the table, basically. Your opponent's going to have to commit a lot of Dawn in order to remove it, and if their method for removing Marco is to put a 7k beater on the table and attack into it every turn, that's really not going to work out for them super well because you are playing 4 copies of Ace. Ace, of course, set 2 card. When it comes down, you're going to be able to give 2 of your opponent's characters minus 3k, and of course, Ace itself gains Rush. So you're in a situation to really fight back against a lot of really big beaters with this deck. And your top end is insane, right? Like, you're playing 2 Edward Newgates. You're going to become a 7k leader for your turn and your opponent's turn, as well as just having a 10k on board. So you're countering out with basically everything has at least 1k counter on it. Some things just have 2k stapled onto them because of your leader's ability, and it's going to be so hard to take you down. You're basically going to have to fully exhaust on resources or mismanage a little bit in order to actually die. So Ace is looking pretty hot with all the red, of course. So yeah, let's switch over. Let's have some fun with some games. Okay, it looks like our first round here is going to be against Eustace Kid. Kind of a not the most popular leader going into set 3, but should be an interesting test of how well Ace can protect himself. So looking at our opening hand here, we have a jet pistol to be able to fight against maybe a 4-drop that your opponent puts into play. But I think, let's see. We're gonna be on the draw here. Let's go ahead and keep this. We do have a Whitebeard Pirates in order to add turn 2 Marco to our hand. We've also already got the Marco. Let's see what we net here. Okay, so we've got quite a bit. I really like ace and just playing games where I have ace, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in my hand. Now, an option there too would be Whitebeard Pirates grab Ezo and then play the Ezo out using the second Dawn that I have. But I don't think that's necessary because we are just looking for the ace, and I would rather hit the ace than search for the ace, so. Depending on what my opponent does. Of course, if they're on, going to go for a really aggressive Momonosuke and protect it with maybe a Capone or something like that, then of course we would want the Ezo. But, I think the guaranteed ace is going to be really, really solid here. Okay, looks like we're on Film Kid. That should be pretty nice to play against. And we're just going to take this first hit here. Now, we could have countered out with any of our events as well using Ace's ability. I don't think that's entirely necessary, so let's swing back at him. We don't want to buff up by anything here. We're just going to slam down the Marco. Okay, counter out, and let's play Marco. We do have Jet Pistol plus Otama to take care of any big threats. And a Nami comes down. That's going to be a pretty good target for the Jet Pistol. Not going to want him to draw too many cards off of that. We're going to 6 Dawn here. Let's go ahead and counter out. We do have 2 Otamas. No blocks, please. And coming across for 5, let's use... We can pitch our Crossfire to save us here. Again, no blocks. And discard for Ace Effect, go to 6k. Alright, and a Flame Emperor is going to be really nice, so that will definitely help us out. Let's see here. We have 2 extra done. Let's see if we can clear away this Usopp. And we don't want to buff up anymore. We have enough. We could swing with the Marco, but that opens it up for his leader to swing back on it. Let's just go ahead and kill the Nami and pass over to him. So he's going to have a big swing turn where he plays, 7-drop, possibly Brook, possibly another Nami. If he does that, though, he will not be able to draw a card off of Nami, so she will be a little vulnerable to the second Jet Pistol that we have. Okay. And here we do have Flame Emperor, so he is going to want to hesitate a little bit before he swings at us with Luffy in order to keep that blocker back. But we should be able to use that time here to play the Flame Emperor on the following turn. Let's go ahead and get across for 5k here, see if he wants to just take the damage, go to 4. I think he will. Okay, interesting. He has very few cards in hand, so I would really think that he would want to just go to 4 there, but I guess not. Let's go ahead and remove the Nami, and let's play out another blocker Marco. Now, if we go to 2, we can start keeping the Marcos alive. We have a lot of counter powder in our hand too, though. Usopp comes down. Now, Flame Emperor is, of course, going to let me destroy a character with 8,000 power or less, so that falls firmly in that Luffy camp there. Let's go ahead and get out with a Makino. And if he swings at us with a 7k, we will have to take that, but that would be great because we could just ace that down. So let's go ahead and take this. I do want to hold the Otama for a bit longer. And 3 aces, so we were kind of hoping he swings at me with that. All right. Unfortunately, the Flame Emperor is probably going to hit and take him down to 3, and kind of restock his hand a little bit. I do think it's necessary, so Flame Emperor could destroy the Usopp as well. But I think it's most effective just on this Luffy here. So let's use it like that, and let's come across for 8k. We don't want to pitch anything. Having a stage card would have been really nice. This, of course, this is like one of the turns we could have tapped it. Punk Gibson out. Whoa. Okay, that's really nice, actually. So he is going to go to 1 card in hand. He's really going to be starved for resources. But he will get 2 attacks on us with his leader and 1 with the Usopp, to which we really can't counter out. So we are going to be looking to block. Certainly, blocks are going to be nice because it gives us an avenue for the aces to come down. Okay, he's not going to want to put a card into play with that, though. And Usopp does not go face. That's actually really interesting. We will let that go. Do we want to bring it back? I think the answer is yes. Like, I don't think we need 3 aces in our hand. This one's going to go. You know, on this board state, I really don't even think that we need the Otama either, so no blocks. We are letting him bleed us resources, like a lot, but at the same time, we're not giving him any foothold, really. He's got 1 card in hand. He is going to take some damage really soon. Ooh, and slamming the Newgate there looks really nice, especially with 2 Marcos open. Flame Emperor is going to punch through quite a bit. Let's go ahead and see. Actually, if we're going to play the Newgate, we can just swing 7 on the Usopp. I don't think there's a world where he counters out, of course, so let's just go ahead and play this. And we're going to come across for 7. Now, he could have another Punk Gibson, which could be a reason why he wanted to keep that in hand and not swing again. This also punishes the Luffy. He's going to have to counter out. Okay. And he had a 2k in hand. So that's going to hold the that's going to hold the Usopp up for 1 time. But of course, Marco's going to come across and take it down. Okay. And we are at 7k. Brook comes down. So because of the Brook, he's not going to be able to swing twice with his lead. You do have to trash a card for that. 8k comes over, and we are going to lose that Marco. And that's 10k across. But let's go ahead and block that with this so we don't take any damage. Use the ability. Just grab an ace here. Okay, perfect. So we could Flame Emperor this turn, but I think the Flame Emperor is like a really, really good removal. So instead, let's just put out ace. Give those 2 a little bit less power here. We will be able to just free destroy that with the Newgate ability. So let's swing. This thing is at 4k right now. We have the Dawn to spare, so we'll just swing 6k over his 4k. Oh, didn't need that. He has no cards in hand. Duh. It's okay. I mean, it was excess Dawn, but now we won't be bluffing anything. That's okay. And we're going to swing at him for 7k here. This does open him up for 2 attacks, but I mean, we have leader ability to protect ourselves, and we can certainly block something with the Marco as well. So if he goes pretty hard on the Newgate here, we could block 1 of them. He's going to need 7 on that for the Newgate. 10 there. I think that is a fine block with this card here. Use that card action. If we can discard the Crossfire, we can. Now he could untap and swing on the ace again, but that would eat the last card in his hand, which is pretty nice. It's exactly what we want to do, so. Swing 10 there. Unfortunately, that's going to go through. We don't have any counter power. I'm honestly surprised they swung on the Newgate there. I really expected him to swing, like take the free kill on the ace, but no, he's kind of risking it. But you know what? Those are the lines you got to take when you're behind. So respect. All right, and here I still don't think there's any real reason for us to use the Flame Emperor to come across the table. So I mean, we just swing 5 here. There's no reason to do anything more. Gonna get to hold open the crossfire. And let's come across with this ace. That's going to net a block. He's going to go to 2, which is fine. The Flame Emperor should be able to pop his last blocker on the following turn, and that should take him down to 0 life. And then we can go pretty in with the ace. Now, the crossfire on the kid leader is something... oh, we can't use it on leaders. Ah, okay. Oh, I'm actually glad you can't, because that would be so unfortunate for the kid. All right, and that's just gonna go through. No way we're getting out of that one. Yeah, that would be so unfortunate for the kid player, though, if his leader ability just gets completely shut off. And I don't even think that we need to waste the crossfire. Well, we could block this one, and then it kicks him another turn. Yeah, this gets us away from. Yeah, let's go ahead and block, and we can just pitch that. Okay. So we're still not really in a position where we can win the game. Of course, I could pop this, swing for 8. That's going to leave me 3, and it'll be another 8k attack. Which, if we get lucky, the last 2 cards in his hand or down here none of them are 2ks. If it's 1/1/1, then he is able to get out. Well, actually, what's the consequence to that? It's that it's really nothing, so... Yeah, let's... Yeah, there's actually... Don't think there's any consequence here. So let's just kill that and attack him for 8. Don't need to pitch anything. Of course, if it's Punk Gibson, he'll tap down the Marco. But he has no rushers, right? So me being at 2 means that he could double lead here. Oh, there are 2/2Ks in there. He can double swing on my leader, but it's not going to be quite enough. That was an insane 2 cards. Whoa. Hey there, buddy. I need you to calm down a little bit. Whoa. All right, let's resolve that, because that'll give us 2 attackers. And then we win the game, I think. So this just needs to be 2 attacks here for 7k. That is the game. Wow, what an insane 2 cards there. I think 11k will be enough to get through. All right. All right, guys. Well, we will be back for game 2. All right, and we are back for game 2. Sorry for the jump cuts there, but we are trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter than an hour. It looks like game 2 here will be against CP9 Rob Lucci. And this hand is pretty nice, actually. You have Whitebeard Pirates and an Ezo. We are going to go first, though, but we'll keep this hand. I think we're going to be playing the Ezo to try and grab a... Let's see. Let's see what's behind door number 1 here. We already have Marco for turn 5. We would like to pick up this Marco, I believe. And that'll be the turn. Now, on the following turn, I don't have too much action going on. We could play the Whitebeard Pirates and then swing for 7. Let's do that. And, of course, I love aces. This has to grab a character, I believe. Correct. So let's go ahead and grab another ace. I know there was a Jozu in there, which is 2k pickup, but I really like having multiple aces. So let's swing for 7 here. Okay. Finish that up. Takes it, and I will also take that. No reason to like pitch out this early, I don't think. it's going to be pretty tough because a lot of my characters that I'm trying to lean on are either able to just bring themselves back when they're destroyed, or they have rush. So I do think that we're a little bit favored here. Let's see if there's anything in his trash pile that he could bring back with the CP type. That's Navy, so no. So if we chose to just jet pistol this down, he doesn't get any value from it at all, and we can swing for 6. It's a little bit of a turn off for us, but it does mean that he gets less value overall. So we could swing for 6 first. Well, that lets him counter out, actually, with potentially a card that he could bring back if we do it that way. So let's not do that. Let's just do it this way. We could pitch, if we had an event, we could pitch to go up to 7 to make him discard 2 cards there. And that actually right there would have been a card that he could have brought back. So, it's important to note that, the ordering, of course, matters. And we will go down to 3, and we'll probably just try to hold ourselves at 3. 6-cost Rob Lucci here. On play, you may return 2 cards CP9, and it's typed from the trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. This card gains Rush. Okay. So that, having said I wanted to hold myself at 3, his Rush does kind of change the math there, but we pick up another ace, so we are just going to try and hit him with this ace. And that'll cost him a 2k to get out of. It's not going to be worth it because the ace is just going to be able to attack it, so I really don't expect him to counter out of this one. And of course, we're going to come across, potentially put him down to 3. End of the turn, and now we're going to be trying to hold. We have a lot of 2ks in our hand, so. Board stabilized. Let's see what he does to try and remove this ace. Of course, that card's going to be a problem, and then we're going to have 9-gate, 9-gate, ace, ace. We have quite the curve. We could set up a blocker because we have so many Whitebeards in our hand. We could go with either Marco, the 5-cost, or the 4-cost. Really depends on the situation that he puts us in, I think. This deck is so aggressive, yet has so many different lines to be really reflexive to what your opponent is doing. Of course, we could just take all the damage and then go very aggro with our Makino swings, because they buff the Ezo up to 5k. Not a thing that needs to happen, but of course it does. And he's going to go 13 at the ace. I was saying, like, I don't know how he's going to clear this. These are the actions that you have to take to get over that, and it does. I don't think I need to counter out of that. I'll respect that he took his entire turn for it. And we're just going to come back with, of course, the Newgate here, and swing for 7. Make a really casual swing for 7. It's going to be tough for him to climb back out of this one. But I'm excited to see what tools they have in order to do so, because of course Ace will be a really popular leader going into set 3. So if decks are not able to contend with that, then this is unfortunately the reality they're going to be in. Now we do have access to the jet pistol. That was a very lucky draw. He only has 1 target to bring back. It says on play. Draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost this turn. Not really a threatening card, so we could go for the jet pistol here, clear away the blocker. We also have access to Ace, which is just a really powerful card. Now that's a 3k, and Whitebeard, of course, just cleans that up right now. Going to get to bring back his Khalifa, draw 2, discard 2, and give something -2 cost, but barring, I think, Impact Wave off the life, that probably doesn't even matter. Okay, I don't think he actually gave anything -2 cost, but he did have the option. And Ace is going to come across. And, we do have the option of just cleaning up the Khalifa. Let's see, we have a couple of options for cleaning up that Khalifa. I don't think it's too big of a deal. Like, I think we'll just hold, like, we could Otama the Khalifa and then use the Ezo to attack it down, but I think that we can just go 6k on it. Yeah, that's going to clear that away. And ace is going to come across. He should counter out of this. I think he would value himself staying at 1. Otherwise, just makes everything like just so threatening. Just a casual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand. No big deal. And we're just going to counter out, go down to 8 cards in hand. And this is going to get a 2K from me. So Makinos actually have a purpose, and the Otamas really don't. But I think we'll hold the Otama just because we have Jet Pistol and we have Whitebeard, so... Okay, this card is kind of like a leveler, really. It says on play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 of them, go down. And as you saw, like I was holding 8, so he took me down to 6. Pretty good. And he made me discard Ace and a Newgate, so both of those are pretty good. I'm sure that he was happy to see those come out of my hand, especially going into the last turn here. So he has 2 cards left. He has quite a bit of power to counter out of. Let's see. Let's make this an 11K. It's going to require kind of a lot of cards to get out of this one. Impact Wave the Ezao. And he's able to get out of that one. So we could go 9K is going to leave me with 7, and that's a really big attack, so I think I'm happy doing that one. And this is going to come across for 12. And we could have made it 13-14, but I don't think it's necessary. All right, guys, that is the end of Game 2. Really, let me switch back over to the deck list here, just so you can see it one more time. Of course, this is just this kind of the stock list for Ace right now, going into set 3. But yeah, very powerful leader. A lot of really cool plays. As you saw, like there were just like I was taking a more aggressive route, but of course there were a ton of lines open, and I'm sure you guys would have taken different lines yourself. But I'm absolutely certain the end result would have been the same. Just a really powerful board state, and you have the flexibility to deal with quite a lot. So Ace is looking like a really strong leader going to the next set. Let me know what your favorite leader is, and let's try it out together.